the concept is 100% incorrect. It's wrong, wrong, wrong. Because the question, if you want to make work optional, or if you even want to retire, the question is not how much money do you need to have. The correct question is how much income does your portfolio need to produce to make work optional, so that you could retire or keep working, whatever you want to do.
Welcome back to Retirement Today. I'm your co-host, Zach Holcomb, and alongside me we have Michael Reese, certified financial planner and founder and president of Centennial Advisors, headquartered right here in beautiful Austin, Texas. Tonight's show, this is an exciting one, Mike. We're talking about the 3 questions that you have to answer to make work optional. Now, at the end of our last segment, you kind of tease what's coming up here. We're going to be talking about the amount of income you need to make work optional.
Yeah, that's exactly the deal. So I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about, because we were talking about this in the last segment. We said, there's this ING commercial several years ago. Now, ING is now called Voya Financial, and I think they made this change. Boy, it might have been 10 years ago now. I don't know. It's been a while. But the point is, there's a commercial, and people would walk around. You might remember it, right?
I remember it. Yeah.
People are walking around the street, and they'd have like these orange bubbles above their head, because that, company colors.
Yeah.
And the question was, what's your number? What's your number? And the number represented how much money you would need to retire. Or put another way, how much money would you need in your retirement accounts in order to make work optional, right?
Yes.
And the funny thing is, the concept is 100% incorrect. It's wrong, wrong, wrong. Because the question, if you want to make work optional, or if you even want to retire, the question is not how much money do you need to have. The correct question is how much income does your portfolio need to produce to make work optional, so that you could retire or keep working, whatever you want to do.
Right, because if I step away from my job, I have to replace those paychecks somehow.
That's exactly it. You got to replace the paycheck, or at least a chunk of it, right? So let me give you a good example, right? So let's talk about Joe and Fred, right? 2 hypothetical fictional people.
Okay.
Joe, he's sitting here and he has $1 million in his 401k. And Fred has $700,000.
All right.
So Joe has $1 million, Fred has $700,000. Who do you think is more ready to retire?
Well, you would think Joe, just based off the number. He's
got more money.
Sure.
Right? Oh, but wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Let's keep this even simpler. Let's imagine that they need the same amount of income from their portfolio. Okay, so just for the sake of discussion, let's assume they need $3,000 a month, right? Joe has $1 million. He needs $3,000 a month in order to make work optional. Fred has $700,000. He also needs $3,000 a month to make work optional. Who's in the better position to make work optional?
Seems like Joe.
You would imagine Joe, because he's got $1 million. Fred has $700,000, and they need the same amount of income.
Yes.
Right? But then we start diving into how they have their money invested.
Uh-oh.
And we learned that, hey, Joe, you've got your $1 million. When we run the analysis, we learn that your portfolio, the way it's structured, it's only generating 1.5% income, which is very common today. It's only generating $15,000 a year of income. Now, he wanted $3,000 a month, which was $36,000 a year. His portfolio is generating $15,000. Is he ready for work to be optional?
He's not.
No.
Not even halfway there with
that. Unless he makes some serious changes.
Yes.
Right? Now, by the way, he might be there if he's open to making the changes. But he's not there yet.
Yep.
Let's look at Fred. He's got $700,000. When you look at his portfolio, maybe it's generating income of $40,000 a year. He needs $36,000. Is he in a position where work could be optional for him?
He's getting there, very close.
Well, he needs $36,000 and he's getting $40,000.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
Right? What if he was at $32,000? He's close. right? Or 30. He's close. He's a lot closer than Joe is.
Right.
So here's the thing. It's not about the amount of money you have. If you want work to be optional, it's about the income that your portfolio is generating. And it's not just about the income. It's also about how sustainable the income is. So I've got this great little, a fun little exercise. So if you're out there, if you ever come watch one of my live events, so sometimes I'll do, like, I might be at a hotel speaking, I might be at a restaurant. And one of the things that sometimes I like to do just for fun is I'll go to a couple, like a husband and wife, right?
I know this one.
Yes. And I always start with the husband.
Yes.
And I just simply ask him, let's say his name is Bob. We got Bob and Mary here, right? I'm like, hey, Bob, you mind if I ask you a couple questions? He's like, sure, go ahead. I say, so Bob, are you still working? And I try to pick someone young enough they're probably still working. I'm like, he goes, yeah, I'm still working. Great. So since you're working, what happens every couple of weeks? Well, my company deposits, my paycheck. And then I like to ask, okay, great. So now as long as you've worked at this company, have they consistently deposited those paychecks? Have you gotten a paycheck every 2 weeks pretty consistently? Well, yeah. And over time, like due to maybe inflation or maybe because you got promotions, have you seen increases in your pay over time? He's like, yeah. All right. So, Bob, every couple of weeks you get a paycheck like clockwork. You've been getting raises over time, right? It's all been pretty consistent.
Yep.
Now, what about this? In 2013, the stock market was up like 30%. Did your company come to you in 2013 and say, oh, Bob, great news. The market's up like 30%. We're going to give you a 30% raise. Did they do that?
They did not do that.
No. Okay, well, what about in 2008? 2008, the market was down 30-some percent, 37%. Did they come to you and they're like, Bob, oh my gosh, it's horrible. The market's down. We all got to tighten our belt. We need to cut your paycheck by 37%. Did they do that?
No.
Of course not. So what you're saying, Bob, is that while you've been working, your income has been stable, it's been consistent, it's been growing, and the stock market doesn't impact your income. It is what it is. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Okay, great. Then when you retire, don't you kind of want the same thing? Don't you kind of say, hey, when I'm working, my income, it's stable, it's predictable, it grows over time. Don't you kind of want the same thing when you're retired? It's like, oh, yeah, definitely. Well, Bob, how long do you want that to be the case? Like, how long do you want that income to continue in retirement? And this is where I have a little fun because he always says the same thing. What's he say, Zach? As long as I live.
Right.
And this is where I say, well, are you sure about that? He's like, yeah.
100%.
I said, very sure. I was, okay, well, now, but Bob, I'm confused. Didn't you tell me that this lovely lady sitting beside you, Mary, is your wife? If your income only lasts as long as you live, well, who's probably going to live longer, you or Mary? And that's when he starts laughing. He's like, oh.
I answered this wrong.
He's like, so I said, so Bob, do you want to maybe amend that statement?
Yes.
How long do you want that to last again? You want it to be stable, predictable, growing. How long do you want that income to last again? And he goes, and what does he say? Oh, as long as we both live.
Yes.
Oh, that's a better
Yeah.
answer. Okay, fair enough. But here's the deal. Do you want work to be optional? Well, question number one, or decision number one, strategy number one, how are you structuring your retirement savings so that they are generating enough income to replace that paycheck? Income that is stable, predictable, and growing over time, no matter what the market does, in both good markets and bad. How are you doing that?
Yep.
That's a question you have to answer. And by the way, that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about at Retiring Well University. So here's the thing. Coming up, starting tomorrow night, you still have time. This is your last chance, but you still have time. Starting tomorrow night, I'm personally going to be hosting a 2-week class, like a college-level financial class on how to make work optional. It's called Retiring Well University, and we're going to cover these 3 questions you need to answer so that you can make work optional, so that you can enjoy the easiest path to financial security no matter what the markets do.
Yep.
Right? So it starts tomorrow night, 6:30 to 8:30 is part 1. Then the following Tuesday, the 27th, same time, 6:30 to 8:30 is part 2. This is a Zoom meeting, so it's like a live virtual class.
Yes.
So you get to hang out in your own home. If you want to be in your pajamas that early, that's fine. You don't even have to turn the camera on. I hope you do, because I like, you see me, I like to see the people in the class, right? There's already like 100 people registered, so there's going to be a ton of people in the room, so it's not like it's just you and me.
Right.
You could be very, anonymous.
Yes.
But it's great information. We're going to have a lot of fun. And the way it works is I'm going to cover, a number of financial topics. But I'm going to cover the first topic, and then what I'll do is I'll open it up for Q&A. I want to make sure your questions are answered, and it's going to be a blast. It's super easy to sign up. So what do we need to do? So here we are. We've got listeners out there saying, man, maybe I should sign up for that. It's free. It's easy. It's fun. What do they do, Zach?
You're right, Mike. It is easy. All you have to do, if you're listening to the show, you want to sign up, you go to 590, that's 590class.com. Again, that's 590class.com. You enter your name, your email, boom, you're registered, and we'll send you all the information immediately.
I think it's important that when they put in their name and email, Zach, that they hear the boom sound.
Yes, you do hear the boom sound effect when you click sign me up.
Then you know you're registered.
Yes.
Very good. All right.
Boom.
All right. So I know you love saying that. All right. We've got it. We're hitting up against the break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about the second question you need to answer. What are you going to do about all those taxes in retirement? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi, and thanks for checking out Retirement Today. If you like the content we share on our channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay notified about all of our latest content and videos. Be sure to share all of our information with your friends and family as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.